but this is the situation that we're dealing with here, I-45 near Springwoods Village Parkway. We did see a couple of cattle trotting down the road. We haven't seen some in a few minutes here. So and we don't know if maybe they have them, and we're still waiting for that update. But we have Sky 2 up and looking to see if we can spot them once more here. But you can imagine, yeah, and you see traffic there at a complete standstill, so that deputies can do what they need to do and get these animals off the road so no one's hurt. Okay, we see people running, and we're trying to, maybe if we can bring that lens out a little bit, can we widen out our shot? A lot of traffic buildup. Again, guys, if you're just joining us, there are cattle loose on the northbound, on the North Freeway, pardon me. This is the 23500 block of the North Freeway and Springwoods Village Parkway. That's where the call initiated. The caller advising law enforcement that 8 cows were seen running in the northbound lanes of I-45. And Montgomery County Sheriff's Office put out a traffic alert advising folks that to be careful if you are driving on 45 northbound main lanes just under the Hardy Toll Road. They're asking people drive with caution, just in case.
Oh, it appears there's one, I think, right there.
Zach Lajway joining me here on this breaking news. Zach, what are you seeing here?
It appears that is one cow, perhaps. You can see those deputies, those officers in that space between those lanes there. It is really tough to see, but this is a live look out over Sky 2. Right, Lisa? I believe that appears to be a cow right there. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is a cow. Our producer, Kendall, confirming that. So it is in a very narrow space. You can see rope in that in the hands of the deputy there. It's behind brush, so it is tough to see. Someone just jumped over into those other lanes, and there you see that deputy, that officer, hand him the rope.
Trying to get a rope around him, and it looks like they're getting some civilian assistance out there. A lot of people
right,
pulled
people
over.
just jumping in to help out.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were mentioning, so this is a live look from Sky 2, and this is on 45 near Springswood Village Parkway. And there you have it. And I'm sure that animal is so frightened to be out in the middle of traffic like this, right?
No one wants to be on the northbound lanes of 45.
That's for sure. Not even in a car, let alone, yeah, so.
Okay, looks like they have this guy.
Yeah, another person stepping in to help out. So you have 2 people. Oh man, this is.
And this is one of 8, Zach.
One of
8. So again, we don't know who they belong to.
Yeah.
Did a trailer come
cut
open
loose?
On the right?
Yeah,
what happened? You always wonder, how did they get onto the freeway? Where did this happen? But I'm sure there's cell phone video somewhere of them getting loose and onto those lanes of the 45.
And this was several years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, this was before I arrived in Houston, but years ago a situation happened where cows were loose. I don't know if it was I-10. It made national headlines. I remember not being here in Houston and seeing cattle out on major roadways here in Houston.
It's Houston.
It is
I
Houston,
bet it
baby,
happened.
right? It is
bet
Houston.
It happened, yeah.
So I think they're just trying to assess the issue here as to how do we get this guy out of this space.
Right.
It's a very narrow space. You can see a lot of litter, and again, this is between 2 different levels. When we saw that Good Samaritan jump in, he had to jump over that Jersey barrier, which again looked a little higher than the surface below. So it's uneven surface they're working with, and it is certainly a tricky situation trying to get this cow out of that space.
Okay, we're getting an update from Kendall, our producer. What are you hearing, Kendall? Oh no, one cow's been hit and the vehicle's overturned as a result of that. That's from the Harris County Sheriff's Department releasing that information. Do we have the location of that? We don't have that confirmed yet, the location anyway, but we'll get that to you as soon as we get it.
And we know traffic in both directions is at a standstill, or just this?
It looked like it's just the northbound.
The northbound lanes?
But everything is fluid, and we are
right.
collecting details. We have our Bryce Newberry, who's headed there right now, and he's been telling us about traffic alerts that have been put in place. Okay, major accident and loose cows and bulls on 45, both north and southbound lanes near the Hardy Toll Road,
there you go.
near the Montgomery County line. The freeway is stopped while units attempt to get the livestock contained. One cow has been hit, one vehicle is overturned. Expect delays in that area. Find an alternative route if possible. So that coming from the Harris County Sheriff's Office just a few minutes ago.
And this specific location again is I-45 near Springwoods Village Parkway. We see deputies there. It appears to be a few Good Samaritans also helping out. We saw two gentlemen rope the cow, and now they're just trying to assess how to get that cow out of that very narrow space between lanes.
They got to put them somewhere too. I'm sure they're waiting on a trailer of their own to roll up, or how do they do that? How do they get them out of there? I know there are folks watching right now who are so familiar with livestock. They're like, I could tell you in 2 seconds how to do that.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it, anchors. Forgive us. The city folk here at the desk are trying to figure out how they're going to, but we know they have a plan. And of course, plan number one is to make sure all the motorists are safe. And it's unfortunate to report that there has been
a crash,
one overturned car because of this.
And so as soon as we get more information on that situation, we will update you. But we do know this is one of at least 8 reportedly loose on the highway. And it sounds as if another one was also struck. So we're working to get more information on that situation. As Sky 2 zooms out, you're getting a bigger picture a little bit of what's going on here. You can see traffic does appear to perhaps be moving by on that one lane to the left of your screen, but otherwise it's definitely at a standstill.
We do want to check in. We're going to get to our Bryce Newberry, who's been headed out en route to the scene to give us a better idea of what things are looking like. Bryce, are you with us?
Hey, Lisa, can you hear me there?
Yes, we got you. What have you learned?
Yeah, we are still on 45 North, just near the Grand Parkway exit, and I can tell you traffic has pretty much come to a stop. I've been listening to the scanner traffic here on our way, and so unconfirmed, but from the discussion that's going on the scanner, law enforcement is trying to get a handle on a total of 9 cows. Wow. They say they had 2 of them. And you can probably see that from the Sky 2 feed. I've been watching that as well. You saw the 2 that were running and some of the people jumping out of their vehicles trying to help corral them. But a total of 9 that may be unaccounted, or I'm sorry, a total of 7 that may be unaccounted for, in addition to those 2 that we've seen on the screen. But yeah, traffic here is really barely crawling at this point. And in listening to the scanner traffic, they're really trying to get the freeway shut down, which it basically is at the rate that traffic is moving right now.
Yeah. Bryce, right now we're watching from Sky 2 as a trailer just arrived on scene, and it appears they're going to back that trailer up into that median space where that one cow is. We saw Good Samaritans help. They intervened with deputies and they roped that cow, and right now we're watching that trailer make its way back to the median to, I believe there's enough space there, at least it appears that way, to hopefully get that cow right out of there onto the trailer.
And did we have the report already from one of the Harris County Sheriff's Office lieutenants about the accident that this has caused, Zach or Lisa?
Yes.
Yes, we are learning about that. Do you have something further to add to it, Zach? Any further detail that you're learning on your end?
Well, just that we know from Harris County Sheriff's Office Lieutenant Terry Garza, he had posted on X that there's a cow that's been hit and a vehicle that's overturned. So obviously, with that going on as well, I'm sure that's not helping with the traffic mess that we're in now.
Exactly. Yeah. And from your understanding, it's both sides of the freeway closed?
So right now, I can see that southbound traffic from where we're at is moving pretty quickly, and so we're going northbound at this point, and we're still about 20 minutes away from where this is all happening right now. We can see some of the news choppers up in the distance, but still about 20 minutes away, or how many miles is that? About 4 miles still. So there's quite a backup getting up to where this is going on. Again, from the northbound direction. I'm not sure what's happening in the southbound direction at this point.
Are you bumper to bumper right now, Bryce?
Yes, it is bumper to bumper, and a lot of people appear to be maybe trying to exit and get onto the feeder road. But it looks like from Sky 2 that the feeder is backed up as well right now. Is that true?
Yeah, we have a tight shot. We're zoomed in on this cow that's now being put in the back of the trailer. But at last check, the vantage point that we saw from Sky 2, certainly those feeder roads were backed up as well. It was like a parking lot.
Yeah, in fact, I can see people cutting across several lanes up ahead of us, just trying to get off the freeway as quickly as they can. So, I mean, if anyone has anyone that they know driving in this area right now, let them know that everything is backed up, because getting off on the feeder road, I don't think is going to help speed anything up right now.
Bryce, this overturned vehicle, do we have confirmation that that also happened in the northbound lanes? This is not at all, we have no information on it impacting the southbound traffic.
Again, I don't know about southbound, but because we're stuck in this northbound lane.
Right.
But I think maybe if we looked from Sky 2 on the other side, kind of coming in toward Houston, then we might be able to see where that backup has started to grow. And actually now we see some law enforcement units that are with their lights and sirens on trying to get around this backup. And people are just cutting across almost every lane to get off and exit feeder or to the Grand Parkway here.
And Bryce, we understand the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is advising drivers, really be careful if you're heading in this direction. Is that correct?
Yes, the Sheriff's Office has put out that alert just to drive with caution in and around the area. And we can see that that's really important right now. Of course, people who are on the road right now might not have an idea that this is what's going on up ahead.
Right, yeah.
But because, again, we're still about 4 miles from where this is all happening. So, again, you can't see anything that's happening up in the distance from where we're at. But as we continue monitoring these reports, the Sheriff's Office is saying, yes, to drive with caution. And you could see, I mean, really, people jumping into action, trying to help law enforcement.
Yeah.
Well, throwing their doors open. So once you get up to it, I'm sure people are really seeing what's actually happening.
Yeah. Right now we see a sheriff's truck with the trailer attached to the back end. That cow was put in the back of that trailer. I know, Bryce, too, you were saying at 9 cows were loose.
Yeah, so that was what the scanner traffic was, and I've still got the scanner going in my other ear, so I'm trying to listen to see what the update may be. But at last check, the law enforcement on the scanner was talking about 9 that were in total, and they had 2 that they kind of had eyes on. I think they used the term wrestling with, and then so 7 more that they were still trying to get a hold of.
Okay.
Continue to watch this live picture of this trailer being hauled away here, containing that one young bull that was picked up in that median area. That civilian who jumped out to help get a rope around him and get him secured. But the residual impact of this, Zach, I mean, throughout the hours of this afternoon, I hope it's not as bad as I anticipate. But once the North Freeway, once you get a ripple effect there.
Yeah, we're watching as the truck pulling the cow pulled over on the side of the roadway there, and I'm trying to see if perhaps maybe they know this is a location where there's another cow.
Maybe so. Hopefully so.
Yeah, this is a wooded area in the middle of what appears to be an interchange along 45. And it looks like they're walking deeper into that space. So perhaps they discovered another loose cow.
This would be an ideal spot for that animal to have chosen to
Plenty
rest.
of shade. No traffic. No vehicles.
Anybody, exactly right. So they have 1 contained, 1 that was struck, and 7 remaining that they are still trying to
locate. Yeah.
And so for that reason, you have the North Freeway shut down, the northbound lanes
Of that freeway. Yep.
And Lisa, in fact, just in listening with the scanner here, they're mentioning shutting down the southbound lanes as well. So I can imagine that up pretty far ahead of us, there's a shutdown happening there as well. And just in the few minutes that you guys have been talking, I mean, we've literally seen a truck reverse hundreds of yards here on the freeway so that it could get off at this exit ramp. So again, that message from the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office to really drive with caution. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen someone going in reverse on 45 northbound, especially.
Oh my goodness. I've only seen that in like hurricane kind of stuff. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. But that's why they're putting these traffic alerts out there now to let motorists, if this is part of your afternoon commute, avoid
the
you
area.
will be sitting in your car for the duration.
Bryce, right now we're getting a look from Houston TransStar camera of the North Freeway at Hardy Toll Road. And again, you just see lanes of traffic. It's like a parking lot out there. What is interesting is at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, that is a live look from Sky 2. And Lisa, just moments ago, where that trailer stopped in those lanes, another truck towing a trailer stopped on the on-ramp above. And so it's really tough to see. So that is the trailer that is on that on-ramp. The other trailer is stopped beneath on the roadway. So those are the trees. Maybe they're trying to help the guys down below. It's really tough to see.
Yeah, we're squinting hard at this too, right along with you at home, trying to ascertain exactly where we are in this search here. But, you know, all the respect for our first responders who answer all the calls, who are out there running this one as well and trying to locate 7 cows and bulls. I don't know the breakup here, but unfortunately, there was a collision because of this, an overturned vehicle after a cow was hit. We haven't had any confirmation on injuries or even the exact location of where that happened, but we hate to have to report that. Hopefully no one was hurt. But.
And we're still trying to confirm on how this happened. We know yesterday wrapped up Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and today we're dealing with this incident on 45. There goes one of the trailers leaving the scene, and you can see more emergency personnel stopped from Sky 2. Traffic appears to be moving from Houston TransStar camera, North Freeway at Hardy Toll Road. It appears traffic is getting by, which could be a promising sign here, but it's really tough to really understand what is taking place in that live look from Sky 2. We just don't know what deputies are searching or are looking at in that space. It is a wooded space, and there you have it. You have a few deputies surveying that area.
Yeah, Zach and Lisa, do you still have me?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm checking in with our friends at the Livestock Show and Rodeo just to see. They are trying to find out right now. They don't seem to be livestock from the event because most of them apparently moved out last night.
Okay.
Again, this is all developing. We're trying to find out right now. But that's what I just got on my text. So we're still trying to learn more about how this all happened, and of course where these loose cattle came from.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Bryce, for checking on that one for us. We don't know how they got out, where they got out, which on-ramp this was near. Were they in a trailer and that you know
came undone from the truck? Still a lot of questions. It's really tough to see with the canopy, the coverage of the trees here, but we see several deputies on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 focused on this specific area. You can see the sheriff's truck there with the trailer attached to the back end. Again, this is along 45. At this point, I'm turned around as to whereabouts this is located.
I know. I will tell you, if you have a loved one in the car on the North Freeway headed northbound, they're not going to have an issue with traffic until you get about to near East Cypresswood Drive. Once you pass East Cypresswood Drive, it's going to start to slow, and then you're going to hit the red right at Louetta, just before Louetta, actually. And then it gets dark red.
And that continues up to Rayford Road, really.
Yeah, so be advised, once you're in it, you know how that is.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Absolutely.
Again, they have one bull contained. We hear one cow was hit. There's 7 remaining livestock that they are still searching for. They have a trailer out here.
Just moments ago, we saw deputies were able to wrangle one. So that's one less to be concerned about, but still, yes, several more out there. It's really, I don't know if Sky 2 can zoom out. It's tough to see, but it appears they're moving in on a specific spot within this wooded area in between the highway and then, of course, an on-ramp from another location. But with the trees here, it's really, oh, maybe they're walking back to the truck. He's got his rope ready. Mm-hmm. He's ready. He's ready to wrangle some cows. It's just finding out where these cows are at this point.
Right.
Still unfortunate to hear about the collision, though. Once we get that information, we, of course, will keep our viewers and listeners updated on air and online. But look at this, Lisa. You can see traffic coming here off. Okay, it appears we have viewer video. We are trying to get that racked for you, and as soon as we do, we will show that to you right here on air. A KPRC2 viewer sent us in video from the scene out on 45.
While we wait for that to roll,
Yes.
if you're just joining us, this started as a mix of 9 bulls and cows that were loose somehow, some way on the North Freeway near Springwoods Village Parkway. So law enforcement responded. One car has been overturned after hitting a cow. We don't know about injuries. So that's the accident you're referencing. We don't know the extent of anything where that's involved. And that's so unfortunate. We hope everybody's okay. But they've corralled another one, so there are 7 that are outstanding that
and here is this KPRC2 viewer video right here. Colleen Johnson sending us this video, and you can see 3 of those bulls running in the lanes of the freeway. And again, this is in the northbound lanes of 45, correct? The northbound lanes of 45? Yes.
Hey, Lisa, just a little update here as we are literally in park on 45. The news van is in park. We're completely stopped. The latest from the deputies who are trying to corral all of these cattle, they're saying that they've got only 3 corralled at this point. And it sounds like they're looking in the wooded area, I think, as you mentioned, as we can see also from Sky 2, but also a possible parking garage where they've got one corner. They said they're trying to spook it. So there's still a lot of work to be done, and no one is moving. This backup is just growing.
Wow. And as we inch closer to rush hour, people dipping out on from work, this is going to be a major concern for folks headed out of town in that northbound direction. You know, too, I want to mention for these animals, this is as stressful as it is for people to be involved in a situation like this. Yeah. These animals are petrified.
Of course. We are going to continue our breaking coverage on KPRC 2+. And we'll hand things over to Houston Live on the TV side. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, we continue with our live streaming coverage here of this breaking news. Zachary Lajway with me here. I'm Lisa Hernandez. We're talking about, Zach, 9 cattle that are on the loose. 6 of them are still at large. Actually, they're not running from the cops, but they're trying
just
to locate
running to get off of this highway, right?
They're terrified. And we have one car that was overturned as an update, but we do have...
Yes, we have an update from the sheriff's office. This is due to this traffic alert. You can see some of the video there on your screen of people wrangling some of the loose cows and bulls. The lanes have been opened on 45 northbound at the Hardy Toll Road, but there's still loose cattle that ran out of camera sight. So they're asking folks to proceed with caution if you're in this area. Again, the northbound lanes of 45, Harris County Sheriff's Office, livestock units, patrol, motorist assistant program units, and DPS are on scene right now looking for those cows. Quite the backup along 45, those northbound lanes. It is a parking lot in this area, just north of, we said, of Luetta Road, really north to Rayford Road. So if you're in that space,
Yeah, you are stopped.
You're stopped.
Our Bryce Newberry is in that space. Bryce, are you available to debrief with us here at 1 o'clock?
Yes, we are still here. We're still stuck in traffic. We've barely moved since we checked in with you last. But I can tell you, I'm sorry, I'm listening to the scanner at the same time here. As we continued listening here, we did hear that they've got 3 corralled, but now they're saying possibly 30. I've heard 30 a couple of times that they're still looking for. So
Oh my!
it's really developing, and so I'm hoping that we can get an accurate number if we can check in with the sheriff's office or precinct 4 constable's office. I know that Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is also involved, but we need to try to get an official count here. The scanner traffic has been now talking about 30 a couple of times.
My goodness.
So something still to monitor here.
Wow, it's something when you hear 1 or 2,
Right.
maybe 3, trotting
At
down
one
the
point, we
road
were talking
together.
about 9.
Right,
now
9.
The possibility of 30.
I mean,
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
And we're seeing the backup on what we thought were 9. And then when you take into account, Bryce was also talking about how deputies believe that they might have found one near or in a parking garage.
Yeah.
So these cows,
Cornered.
these bulls just running for, to be out of harm's way. Sky 2 out over a scene area near what appears to be a businessplex, if you will. And they're trying to access the gates, perhaps to open those gates just to get them off, the roadways there into a greener area.
This has been going on now for longer than an hour, as Harris County first told us that they were searching for a number of cattle that were loose northbound lanes of 45 near Springwoods Village Parkway. And since that time, they found, was it the 3, Zach?
Yes, I believe we confirmed 3 from the sheriff's office, but still several out on the loose. We had viewer video from a KPRC2 viewer by the name of Colleen, and we saw 3 bulls running on the highway. Oh, look at that. What is this? I'm not sure if that's at all related to. Sounds like it was a boat.
Some debris pickup. Make a note. That 311. We got a pickup for you right there. Okay. So thank you, Colleen. If you have any video of this, by the way, and you're listening,
yes, definitely.
We'd love to
send
see
into
it
our
on Clip 2.
newsroom. Yeah, so they're just trying to,
Gosh.
It's really tough to see what Sky 2 is zooming in on, but we know this is impacting traffic. You can see on your map right there, essentially from Springwoods Village Parkway north to Rayford Road, you're expecting some major slowdowns. I'm trying to zoom in on the map, but it's tough for me to see on this map as well. So this has been a very active late morning into early afternoon here in the north part of our metro, as reports of loose cows and bulls have shut down the northbound lanes of 45. And not only is it impacting, Lisa, traffic on 45, but it's also impacting now traffic on those feeder roads and those roads going onto onto 45.
Because the minute you're in traffic and you start to see the taillights, what do?
You
Well,
try to get off, right? Let's go, let's go.
And so the feeder gets clogged up pretty quickly too. And so that's what we are watching right now. But this could be, God, I hope it's not an hours-long situation out here, but
that would be awful if it were.
That would be awful.
But if you are listening to us now, if you're watching us now, and you do have plans this afternoon, or if home is to the north, definitely look for that alternate route as it's been a really tough afternoon for those on 45 now just sitting in traffic.
Right.
Parking lots.
It's a parking lot, and who knows when that
Could clear.
when that expires.
Yeah.
You're just maybe just trying to get home to the Woodlands or wherever
Right.
you are, and you can't. So that's the situation right now. We do want to bring in our Dodge squad, who's covering the traffic angle on this. Dodgy, what are you seeing, Dodge?
Hey, yeah, the video with the cattle going across is really slowing things down here across 45. So we have our KPRC
okay.
2 traffic map
No,
open
that's
right
I got
now,
snippy.
and where you see those red lines going out away from the city once again is northbound, and we really see that red stretching from off of 45 and off of Cypress Wood Lake. So if you're in that neighborhood, if that's where you typically get on, or if you just know in and around Spring High School, you're already starting to see some slowdowns there. That extends into Enclave Villages, that continues north into the park at Crossgate and Northwood Pines. And once again, we've seen videos of this being a standstill. Now notice here on the southbound side, there is some slowing traffic from our particular KPRC2 traffic computer algorithm here. And it's likely because there has to be some sense of confusion slowing down if you're seeing these cattle coming towards you, or not knowing and seeing police officers and things of that nature on the ground, on their feet, between lanes. That can also slow things down. So that's what we've noticed video-wise, but that's also what we're seeing here along our traffic map. And then as you get towards, once again, Springwoods Village Parkway, there's some slowdowns there, probably as people are trying to get off of 45. Now notice this is a major, once again, major highway that takes you out of the city. So we're going to continue to see how far south it takes to see this become a bigger backup. But if you have to travel into the Woodlands this evening, right now it's about a 66-minute drive to get there. And once again, that is just an algorithm saying we are seeing some major delays across 45. And once again, in and around Spring Falls, off of 45 there, mainly for that northbound lane. But I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see some slows, especially where they were herding the cattle there with the trailer on the southbound side. So going to zoom on out for you so you can get a better grip to see where it seems like a small slither, but we know once you start getting north of 45, you think you're a little bit more wide open, and then you're going to come likely to a complete stop as we are seeing the situation unfold with that cattle across the 45 freeway. There's still, once again, a lot of police across that area trying to get the cattle here together. If you have a chance to get an alternate route or avoid travel right now, that's probably the best thing to do if your 45 route takes you through, say, Enclave Villages, off of Grand East Parkway there. That is going to be a complete slowdown for you and your day. And I would even still be cautious for those coming into town out of 45 there, coming closer to Northwood Pines, would be my recommendation to really find an alternative route if you're in this community or have to drive through this community, as it is continue to hold into that red, meaning stop and go traffic across this area. Very, very slow moving. And even our TransStar cameras continue to show just a major backup there. But at least they have, gotten one cattle in custody there and taking it off somewhere safe. But in the meantime, because of the uncertainty of what we don't know is where the other cattle may be, we want everyone to, if you have anybody driving on this route, to tell them to slow down so you can protect yourself as well as those animals that are on the loose.
Slow down and avoid the area. And right, find
Right,
that
absolutely,
alternate
right.
route so you can just stay out of harm's way here.
We are hearing from law enforcement precinct 4 here that they believe the livestock escaped from a vehicle that broke down on the interstate, and they're still working to confirm the total number of cattle they continue to look for. So someone broke down on the side, and somehow the cattle got loose.
Yeah, and for some this might be or sound like deja vu. Years ago, you might recall when a cow or cows got loose on I-10 near the east, or near Beltway 8. And so folks jumped in to help authorities wrangle that cow and bring it to safety. Sadly, with this incident, we're hearing of a collision in which a car overturned due to these cows being loose on 45. This is a live look right here from our reporter Bryce Newberry, who is on scene, if you will. He's joining us from the phone right now. Bryce, it appears traffic's moving a little bit.
Yeah, actually, we are moving right now, finally. We had been stopped for quite a while, and we actually just passed one of those digital signs that said the accident is cleared at the Hardy Toll Road as of 1:02, so about 10 minutes ago. But you can still see that we are moving quite slowly, and according to the GPS, we're still, maybe a couple miles away from where all of this was happening. So we're still trying to get up there at this point to see what's going on.
It's always nice when the bottleneck stops, so that at least some progress.
Yeah. And from Sky 2, on the lower left-hand side of your screen, you can see that is a sheriff's truck with a trailer attached to it, and we're told, our producer Kendall says there are cows in that trailer, taking them back to safety from that incident, that area on 45 where they escaped earlier.
Boy, I really hope, as far as injuries, everyone is unscathed here. There was one overturned vehicle as a result of all this, and we don't know the extent of injuries, if there are any, to the person in that vehicle or persons. We're still waiting to hear about that. But 8 or 9 or however many cattle, the number, it's been fluid throughout the hour and a half here. But if no one has been hurt, that's really unbelievable.
That's great news.
Yeah.
That's great news. Still a lot of questions. One of the questions that crossed my mind, and maybe for our viewers as well, you know, for the past 3 weeks we've been celebrating Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Reporter Bryce Newberry made calls on that, and he was told those animals left the fairgrounds, the Energy Park area yesterday, last night. So that is great news to hear today. But again, we're still trying to get a lot of questions answered this afternoon as to how this happened and precisely where it happened. Sky 2 out over, it appears to be a business complex. A business plex. You can see some folks walking. You can see there's one of the sheriff's trucks driving away with a trailer attached to it. I'm not sure if this is an area they're searching for, perhaps to locate some of those unaccounted for cows.
Right.
If that is the case, the good news here is they're at least off the freeway, the main lanes of 45.
Goodness.
But what a scary situation on this Monday afternoon.
I don't, obviously I know nothing of transporting cattle. I couldn't tell you the first thing, but I always think, how does that happen, that livestock get loose on the freeway? And this was a disabled trailer that they'd broken down on 45, and the animal somehow got loose.
And I'll tell you what, Lisa, too, I just came in from a shoot, and it's 80 degrees out there right now. And so when you factor in that heat on the side of a busy highway coming off of that concrete, you know, that's dangerous not only for the drivers, but for the cattle inside, the cows inside these trailers. Those trailers are metal, and they just attract that heat like that. Yeah. So if you're just joining us, this is the situation at or near 45. This is up by Springwoods Village Parkway. There we go.
Happy Monday, Zach.
Happy Monday.
I have said it 12 different ways in the past.
Springwoods Village Parkway.
Yeah.
Sky 2 out over the scene for us, along with several deputies earlier. They have deputies from their patrol units, from their livestock units, everybody chipping in, including Good Samaritans,
We did
jumping
see
in to
Good
wrangle
Samaritans who just got out of their cars, hey, I can help you with this.
Right.
I'm familiar with this.
Yeah.
You know, throw me that rope. Let me try to help you.
Takes a community,
It really does.
right?
It really
absolutely does.
All right, we continue to keep these images from Sky 2 up live here for you on the KPRC 2 Plus live stream. We've been following this breaking story since the noon hour, where we first heard that as many as 9 cattle were loose on the northbound lanes of the freeway, on the 45. Then we learned both southbound and northbound lanes were being impacted. It sounds like these animals were just scrambling.
Yeah, just scattering.
And I'm sure terrified,
Of
just
course.
trying to get to some semblance of safety. Unfortunately, we did have one vehicle that collided with a cow, and that vehicle overturned. We're still waiting to hear if there are any injuries from that. We saw one young bull get corralled into the trailer, which is actually pretty cool. We saw the civilian get out and help lasso him and then push him into the trailer. So that animal was safe. We want everybody to be safe.
Yeah.
We want this to end well today.
Absolutely, and I know too. Our meteorologist Brittany Begley was so kind to do some research for us this afternoon and find out what to do if you're in a situation like this and you encounter cows on the road. And the number one thing is, of course, to slow down or come to a stop, stay calm. Assess the situation, make those calls if you're able to 911 to alert authorities, guide them off the road if you're able to. If you're not an expert, leave that up to the experts. Do not put yourself in harm's way. Definitely, call for help if you can and let that help step in. And wait it out. And for some, this is going to be a long wait. And this is some video where new into the newsroom. You can see those cows just jumping over that barrier onto the road. This is from earlier. I just want to make that clear. This was at the beginning of this this situation on 45.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they just want out just as badly as anybody sitting in that traffic. I'm sure these guys want.
And here's another civilian just jumping out, trying to get them away from the other side of traffic, where traffic is flowing pretty good on that other side. So you don't.
Because the last thing you want them to do is jump that Jersey barrier and end up in the Oh, I hope that's not what happens with this. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that is great news as well.
We did report that. Okay, wait, we have more video from earlier. Pardon me.
Oh yeah, they're definitely afraid and just wanting to be in a green pasture somewhere, right?
Well, let's get them away from the freeway.
Yeah.
That's number one. But yeah, the job continues here for officers.
Look at that officer.
Look at the run. Look at the full on. Man.
And it's warm out there. Oh, it's.
Wow. You mentioned Rayford.
Yeah, Rayford Road. It was really, that was the hot spot. Rayford Road south to Louetta. So if you were in those northbound lanes on 45 in between Louetta and Rayford, it was a parking lot for several minutes today. Again, back to Sky 2. This is a live look out over the scene near 45. It appears they're trying to survey the area to locate some of the cows. At one point, reports were saying 9 cows on the loose. We did hear one was involved in a collision in which that car that it collided with, or the car collided with the cow, overturned. We're still waiting to get an update on that person or person's conditions in that vehicle. And we did see authorities wrangle at least one. Now I'm losing track.
We saw one.
We saw one. We saw one.
We know they have more, thank goodness, that are contained, which is good. But they and the number on the final tally is still
iffy, right?
Right, because we heard 7, then we heard 9.
Possibility of 30.
But let's check in with Bryce. Bryce, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here. We are just actually getting into the area where the main search for all of these cows started. Do you have our picture?
You know what? We're looking at Sky 2 right now. Ah, we got you. We got it. Yes, we do. Oh, you're moving pretty good pace there. Have you heard anything more on how many cattle there's still to be contained here?
We have not heard an update on that, but I can tell you they're still asking, law enforcement is still asking each other on the scanner, if they have eyes on cattle here or there, and just trying to kind of get a count and see who is where at this point. We did pass what looked to be, the best I could describe it is like a staging area where there were several law enforcement vehicles and then also a trailer. And I'm just hearing in the scanner on my other ear that they have eyes on one. So they're still trying to get all of this under control at this point.
Yeah, Bryce, right now Sky 2 is out over an area that's densely wooded. It appears to be next to a complex of businesses, and we see a chopper there. That's the sheriff's chopper, I believe. It's really tough to see on these small screens. DPS, that's a DPS chopper. And so it appears that it's zoomed in on a wooded area, and you can see officers on the ground there searching that area, and perhaps that's the scene that you're talking about.
Yeah, there's definitely still some, and I don't have a count. They haven't said yet about how many more they may still be looking for. But you can see we're just right here in the woodlands where you cross over into the Montgomery County area. So traffic is moving in both directions. So it seems like the impact or the threat to the freeway has kind of cleared because traffic is moving again in both directions. But there's obviously still quite a backup from all of this. And like you said, if Sky 2 is out over that wooded area now, then yeah, we can see that it's really kind of let up, at least on the impact to 45 northbound at this point.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. I think that they haven't confirmed it, but it would seem plausible that the major threat is no longer on the freeway, although we're still waiting for confirmation on that. But they are concentrating their search in other wooded areas.
And if you are headed north, still use caution.
Yes.
Just because the threat has moved to the east or the west of 45 doesn't mean something could pop up. And as Bryce mentioned too, the residual impact here with folks being bumper to bumper for so long and now getting the green light to go forward, that slowdown will still be in place for quite some time. It's so tough to see what they're focused on.
Right.
But again, we're seeing that trailer in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and a few deputies out walking that trail, searching for the cows at loose.
That's right. We're going to go to break. Okay, we are going to pause real quick, gather our thoughts here. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Our mics are still up.
The cattle that got out of a disabled trailer and got onto the freeway, forcing the closure of the 45 near Louetta, north of Louetta. And they were able to find 3 that we know of. That might be dated information at this point.
It's such a fluid situation.
But they're still looking to find the remaining.
Yeah. The great news at this time is that immediate threat appears to be off of 45, and now deputies, several different units contributing to this search of these remaining cows at large, if you will. We did hear of a collision due to these loose cows on 45. A car collided with a cow and that vehicle overturned. We're still working to get more information on the condition or conditions of the people in that vehicle. And as soon as we get that update, we of course will bring that to you on air and online at click2houston.com.
We'll see you back for KPRC 2 News at 3.